So, students, welcome to the first practical class of surveying. So, today we will discuss about labeling, how we do the labeling. So, our first practical is differential labeling, finding difference between 2 points A and B by using simple labels, staffs and other instruments. So, we have discussed this in class. So, I will just explain what are the various instruments that we use for this particular purpose. So, this is the first thing that is in my hand. It is called tripod. It is called tripod because it has got 3 legs, and then we place our instrument, our label or whatever instrument on top of this, tighten it and then start working forward. So, how to first start labeling practical? First what we have to do, we have to open this tripod, first put all the legs closed. Here you can see these screws, you just loosen them and then pull it up in this manner right up to your chin, so that you are able to place your instrument on top of this, and then you have to spread the legs in this manner, and then once you place the system instrument on top of this, what will happen? It will be on your eyesight. So, this is the first thing that you have to do, loosen these clamps and then open the legs, take it up to your chin and then spread the legs. So, this is what is called a tripod stand. This is the first instrument. Next instrument is our staff that we have discussed. There are 2 types of staffs in front of me. This is first staff. You can see it is called a folding staff, and on this you can see these are the graduations marked on it. So, 0 starts from at the bottom, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, and then here it is 1 meter written over here. If you can see it is the 1 meter mark over here. So, we can see right from here to here, and between 0 and 1 or anywhere, like suppose we are taking 6 to 7, there are 20 divisions. If we count them, there are 20 divisions, white one, black, white, black, white, black, total these are 20 divisions. These 20 divisions corresponds to 10 centimeters. It means the least count, the minimum count of this staff is 5 millimeter. So, one white or one black bar over here, it corresponds to 5 millimeter. So, this is called a folding staff. It is called folding because it can be folded, it can open in this way, because here it is marking up to 1.5 meter, and if I have to open it further, I can just pull it up. So, this is called a folding staff. There is a button here. If you want to unfold it, you just press it and then move it downwards, it will be folded. This is called a folding staff. Nowadays we are living in a digital era. So, earlier we used to have dumpy labels, tilting labels, Y labels, where we have only optical telescope, but nowadays we have digital systems also, digital labels also, which can read a barcode. You do not have to take the measurement, but there is a barcode, and a signal goes from here, it reads that barcode and then returns back, it will give you automatically the elevation at that point. So, here this is another staff that I have in my hand. So, you can see no marking, no graduations on this, only a barcode. So, you will have your automatic label. As I have told you, there are crosshairs, horizontal and vertical crosshairs. You have to put your horizontal crosshair just somewhere over here, it will read the barcode and give you the reading. So, this is called staff. This can be used both ways. On back side you can see again readings over here. So, if sometimes it may happen that your instrument is not able to read the barcode because of some atmospheric conditions or because of certain disturbances, in that case you can use the staff backwards also. But here you can see that between 3 and 4 or 5 or 6, there are only 10 white and black divisions, 5 black divisions and 5 white divisions. So, here the least count is not 5 millimeter, here the least count is 10 millimeter. So, this is what we have to keep in mind, the accuracy of the staff, which staff to use for a particular purpose. Today morning in the class we discussed one more thing. I talked about the plumb bob to ensure a verticality of the line. So, this is a plumb bob, this is called a plumb bob. So, it will always point toward the center of the gravity. So, a level surface will be like just going somewhere here, and then a horizontal plane that will be truly perpendicular to this vertical line over here. So, it is used to find the vertical line. Also, sometime it may be that you have to place your instrument on a particular point. So, here they are at some point, suppose there is a nail fixed on the ground and you want to transfer that point, or you want to exactly center your point on that particular point. So, in that case we use this plumb bob for transferring that ground point to our tripod or instrument point. So, these are the few basic instruments, and then I come to the main instrument that we use for the leveling, and that is called level. Today I have two levels, one is automatic level which is fixed on the tripod stand. So, I will be moving to the tripod stand. So, this is our automatic level that we have discussed today morning in the class. So, here we will start from the basic. So, this is our object lens, the first thing over here we have discussed, and then we have a focusing screw. It means it is on a telescope from the outside, there is a lens inside also right here, and which can be moved to and fro with the help of this focusing screw. So, this is the focusing screw which is used to move the internal lens which is placed somewhere over here to focus onto the object, and this is what we call a tangent screw for the slow motion, slow movements of the telescope for the finer adjustments. And then here on the back side, this is what is called eyepiece, just to focus on the diaphragm. We all know what diaphragm is. Diaphragm is a transparent glass slide on which crosshairs are marked. So, that diaphragm is somewhere here, the position. You can see these screws over here. I think somewhere here that diaphragm is placed over here. And another thing that we discussed, the circular bubble. This is the circular bubble over here, you can see. So, there is the outer circle, and in the middle there is a small yellow circle also, and a floating bubble, whether you are able to see it or not, but I think when you come physically over here you can see this. There is a small bubble which is floating, and we have to bring that bubble to the center. And how we do that? So, as we have discussed, these are called the foot screws, two here and one on the back side on this side. So, we have 3 foot screws. We make use of these screws to bring the bubble to the center. So, first primary leveling, this is what is called leveling. So, in a practical way, the things that we have to do leveling, and then we have to do the focusing. So, first thing is that we have to level our instrument on a given position. For leveling we have to use this tripod first. Roughly we just try to level it. Right now I can see that this side is up and this side is down. So, what I will do, I will just unclamp this and move it a little bit downward and then fix it. Similarly, I can do for that. So, first rough leveling I will do with the help of the tripod. Once that is done, then I will use the foot screw. So, first I will bring my telescope in such a manner so that it is parallel to the 2 foot screws over here. Right now these are the 2 foot screws, and this telescope is parallel to this, and now I have to see the position of the circular bubble. Right now my bubble is on the left side, so I have to bring it to the right side. So, what is there? The rule is, there is called a thumb rule. So, in which direction you have to move your floating bubble, your left hand thumb should move in the same direction. So, now my bubble is on this side, I have to bring it to this side. So, I have to use my this left thumb, its rotation has to be in this direction. So, I will do like this way, and once I have done this, I will just rotate my telescope, make it parallel to the 2 other foot screws, and do again. Here my bubble is on this side. So, I have to bring it to this side, again the left thumb rule. This time I have to bring my bubble from this side to this side. So, my screw movement will be outward. So, I have to move my screw outwards. So, this is how we do the leveling. These are the basic instruments. Then you can see these are the graduations, just to see how much angle you have traversed. So, this is a circular bubble, and this is all about this instrument. Now, how we do, once we have done the leveling, once we have done the centering, so we will just suppose I have to find out a difference between this point and we may have another point over there. and then how we do, we will just do a small demonstration. I'll like to ask Amol, one of the PhD student who is with me over here, who is here to assist me, how we start working over there. Right now Amol is having this staff in his hand, and suppose there is a point over there. हाँ, कोई भी ले लो. So if you are able to see, Amol is standing just at a distance from me. Here is my instrument and Amol is standing over there. So suppose that is point A, for which a known elevation is there. So we have either calculated or either we have measured elevation of that point over there. So that is my benchmark, I can say. From there I have to start my survey. So first I will take a site over there, I will just see to that, focus on that using these focusing screws, and then adjust my diaphragm eyepiece so that my diaphragm is clearly visible, and that diaphragm crosshair, the horizontal crosshair is bisecting that staff over there. And then I will just note down the reading, and suppose the elevation of A was 100 as we have discussed today in the class. So elevation of A is 100 meter, and now my staff reading, suppose that is 1 meter. So this is the plane of collimation. If I rotate it, this is the line of collimation, sorry, and if I rotate it, a plane will be generated which we call plane of collimation. And as the elevation of A is 100 meter and that line of collimation is 1 meter above that point A on the ground, so it means my plane of collimation is at 101 meter elevation. So now suppose I have to find out elevation of second point. So I will ask to move Amol to some other point, to point B. So he has moved to point B near the pole. So now I have to find out the position of that. So now what I do, my plane of collimation is fixed, that is at 101 meter. So now I have rotated my telescope and sighted the staff at B position. I bisected exactly, did all the focusing and all those things, and suppose now the reading is 2 meters. So my plane of collimation which was going from here, it was at 101 meter, and my staff is reading 2 meters. It means the point B is 2 meter below my plane of collimation. So 101 meter was my plane of collimation, 2 meter below means the point is 2 meter below, it means the elevation of that point is 99 meters. This is how we do our work. But suppose the points are not near and points are far away, in that case what we do? So in that case, this first site that I have taken at point A, it is called back site. In leveling, we start only with the back side. So first we take a back side. So at benchmark I have taken a back side. By using back side, I have fixed my height of plane of collimation. Then I have moved to point B, for which now I have found out the elevation by taking a site over there. So that is called a foresight. So first at A it was a back site, and then at B it was a foresight. So it was a foresight. So now suppose my point is 2 kilometer away, so I have to take a number of points. So now what I have to do, at this foresight, now I have calculated my elevation, and that is 99 meter. Next what I will do, either I have to move my staff or either I have to move my level. So in the first case I have moved my staff from point A to point B, and now I have computed the elevation of point B. Now I have to find out, suppose, elevation of another point which is point C. In that case what we have to do? Now I have to change my instrument, staff will be fixed. So I will change my instrument to some other position, and that position is called change point. So I will go to next position. From there again I will repeat the entire procedure. First I will use this tripod, do the rough leveling, then do the leveling with the help of these screws, foot screws. Once that is done, then again I will take a back side. This time I will not take back side at point A, but this time I will take my back side at point B, for which now we have computed the reduced level, or for which now we have computed the elevation of B. So that B point, the staff is fixed over there, Amol has not moved from there, In the first case, I have taken a foresight over there, but now as I have shifted my level to another position, from there first I will take a backside at the point B. So, elevation of point B is 99 meters that we have computed, and suppose from there when I have taken a sight, so the foresight is only 0.5 meters. It means that my line of collimation is just 0.5 meter above the level of point B. So, now the new height of my plane of collimation will be only 99.5 meters, because the elevation of B was 99 meters, backside reading is only 0.5 meters. So, the elevation of my line of collimation is 99.5 meters. So, if I generate the plane, that plane will be at 99.5 meters. And suppose now I have to take find out the elevation of point C. So, now my instrument is fixed, the plane of collimation that is also fixed. So, now I will not move my instrument. Now, what I will do? I have to move my staff, because at next point I have to take reading and I have to see how much up and below that point is with respect to my line of collimation or plane of collimation. So, a mole will move to third point, C point, my instrument will not move. Again I will take a reading over there. So, that reading is again will be called a foresight. So, there is a combination of backside and foresight, backside and a foresight. Backside we always take on a point for which elevation is known to us. Foresight is on a point for which elevation has to be computed, and this is how we proceed one by one, by changing our station, by changing our staff, and then finally we reach to our final destination. Suppose that is point Z somewhere 5 kilometer down the line. So, we reach up to that point, keep on changing our instrument from one position to another position, and then start from one position to another position, taking foresights and backside. Backside on the known position, known elevation, and foresight on a point where we have to compute the elevation. So, this is how our entire practical goes. I think Wednesday we have a class, and on that class we will take a practical numerical example of this, and we can see how this entire things work out and how we tabulate all our readings. So, this is a small video about this, and if you have any queries, we can just you can just throw in the chat box, or you can just throw it to me. I will try to answer. Thank you.